My mom accidentally saved my life. When I was a kid, around 8 years old, I took karate lessons at my local mini mall. Jesus, just recalling the events of this story fills me with dread as to what could have happened. So, yeah, I remember my lessons were twice a week, an hour long, and my mom would drop me off and pick me up when it was over. Most parents would sit in the lobby and wait for their kid's lesson to be over, but my mom would always go shopping or something to kill the time instead. There was this guy that was in the lobby almost every time I had a lesson. He looked older, probably in his 50s, dark hair, long beard, and mustache. I always assumed he was another one of the kids' parents, but I never saw him drop someone off or pick them up. Something was strange about this, but my 8-year-old brain didn't piece together that it was weird that some guy would just hang out and watch kids in the lobby of a karate center. So, one day I graduated up to a green belt, or yellow belt or something, doesn't really matter, and my mom dropped me off at the same time she always did. However, she didn't realize that I was in a different group of lessons now, and I wasn't able to participate in the class. So instead, I decided to go look for her in the mini mall. The guy started to follow me. He came right up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder, told me that my mom told him to find me and give me a ride because my sister was in the hospital. He described what my mom looked like, what my sister looked like, and that I should get in his van so that he could take me to my parents. I remember I started to cry and follow him because I really believed him when he said my sister was in the hospital. I asked him what happened, and he told me they were in a car accident. I asked him who he was, and I remember he just said he was friends with my mom. I remember this didn't sit right with me because my mom never talked to him when she dropped me off, and I didn't recall them ever saying one word to each other. His van was parked a couple stores down from the karate center by the sidewalk. I remember being something like 20 feet from the van when I looked behind me and saw my mom shopping through one of the windows in a JCPenney. At this point, the guy was holding my hand and leading me to his van, but when I stopped and saw my mom, he started to pull me and say, we had to hurry. I remember pointing at my mom and saying to him, my mom's right there. He gave another tug at me and I resisted and started to scream. He let go of me instantly, got in his van, and sped off in a hurry. In that moment, I realized I was almost kidnapped. I remembered all the stranger danger warnings we were given in school. But I stupidly thought that, because this guy could describe my mom and sister, that he must know them. Instead, he must have been watching me and my family for weeks before he decided to make his move. I remember running into the store, tears streaming down my face, and just giving my mom a huge hug. I tried to tell her what happened, but she just yelled at me and smacked me upside the head for missing my karate lesson. She took me back to the karate center, and my sensei explained to her that my lessons were at different times now that I had gone up a belt color. He probably explained this to my mom before, but as you can tell by reading this, I didn't have the most responsible parents. I tried to tell my mom about the guy who said he was her friend, but she ignored me, said something like, he must have thought I was some other kid. God, my mom is such an idiot. But I was too young to linger on it or do anything about it. So that memory just festered in me for years, and every year that went by I became a little wiser, and a little more terrified about what could have happened to me if I got in that van.